Huff a day, huff a day. We live. Huff a day, Guahan. Hello, world. Welcome back to another episode of the Social Progress Podcast. This is your host, Guam Social Progressor. I'm excited for our co-host coming in today through Cat's Eyes. How's everybody doing, man? I feel like I haven't been on here in a minute. It's been like 2 weeks or something. What up, Riss? Hola. Hi. So I'm going to wait for our co-host to jump on here. And then we're going to get started. Here she is. Hi, everybody. Boom, boom, boom. Love's World. Yes, we did. Nutrition is very important, boys and girls. Ah! Hi!
Hello!
How are you? Oh my God.
I'm doing really good. Today was an interesting day, but I'm really glad the way it ended up. So, really glad.
Awesome. Man, I just need to breathe for a second right now, and I just want to let everybody know that I am just so grateful for this lady on my screen right now. I know I've told you numerous of times before, but of course I'm going to say it again. Your videos on TikToks, your TikToks and all your light and your love that you send out, it's so amazing. She has literally helped me through numerous moments, literally perfect timing, divine timing as far as connecting her videos with me. So I just want to say si Diyos maasi, which is tomorrow in my language. In English, that is thank you so much through Cat's Eye.
Just so honored. Thank you. That means everything. That means just a lot. That really means a lot. Thank you.
Of course. And for everybody tuning in, again, I just wanted to share the love and the light. I always try to shout people out. I know that, being a light, sometimes we don't need anybody to know what we're doing, but I just really appreciate sharing the love with everybody, so everybody can check out your art, check out your stuff, and yeah, let's get this going.
I'm excited. So hello, Guam. I mean, everybody else.
Yes.
Lots of love. Hello. I know, yes,
Lots of love.
Feeling good.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So do you want to just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Sure. Now that you got me all emotional and everything.
Oh, you take your time along with breathing. That's super important. Let's process.
I know. No, and it's good. It's good. It's very humbling. So I'm super grateful. I love doing inspirational stuff. I want to share whatever I can with as many people as I can, and hopefully inspire them to share. So it's like this beautiful daisy chain of love. And I know there's a lot of other committed people out there too. I've seen their social media platforms. I've connected with them. There's some amazing human beings out there really looking to do some good, including yourself. And another amazing human being right there. So if you're on my Insta and you don't know, please follow her. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. In fact, look, I'm sending you a hug.
Yeah. Right, look. Dude, so much love. And just keep on going with your videos, because like you said, it's just like a connection and a connection and a connection. And TikTok has really provided that for us, along with other platforms. But yeah, TikTok has just been amazing with just bringing so many different people from so many different places. And your video reached me.
So many different age groups. That's the one I think I love to say over and over is it's not for kids. It's not just for kids. I mean, my mentor, my crush, my Gary V, man, I wouldn't be on TikTok without
My
him.
man. Me
And
too.
right? And so that's changed my life. And so again, that's one person having all this ripple effect on all these amazing human beings because he put himself out there and his vibe is unlocking other people. We have this beautiful resonance and frequency that only unlocks other people. So it's like this, again, this beautiful chain of energy. And this is, again, a scientific, measurable wave of energy. Person and touches another because we are inner. So
Please hold. There we go.
oh,
Okay.
was
Yeah,
I
you were
back?
cutting out for a second. You're back now.
So I think my superpower is definitely love. So I've just always led with my heart. I've always led with my heart. And so that's, again, I just want to teach people how to be more honest, authentic versions of themselves, be happy and comfortable within their own skin themselves, put their message out there in any way it's meant to be put out there. I do have a background in like counseling and advising over 20 years. So I've done my spiritual practice over 15 years professionally, kind of on a hiatus the last probably 4.5 years because of just, family trauma. And, honestly, I'm thrilled to have been unlocked the way that I am. It's evolving every single day. I love finding the best version of myself. And one thing that I'm getting more comfortable with saying is that 2020 actually has been one of the best years of my life. And I know it's been really
Please.
hard for a lot of people. I know it is. I know it has been. And I have to humbly just be incredibly grateful for this year because it has helped me to be the person that I've always seen on the inside and I always wanted to be and I was always striving for. And I just didn't know. Sometimes we get locked in these lives and go, how the hell did that happen? Like, how did that even happen? How did I get
Yeah.
here? And you really
Right.
like slaps you in the face, and then we feel stuck because it's like, okay, we don't know what to do about it, and then we get motivated and then we want to do something about it, and then we start taking action, but then there's very little traction and people don't have levels of commitment to themselves or their life, and so then they quit, and then they fall back even deeper than they were in the first time, and that's how depression, that's how sadness, that's how anxiety and all that stuff is fed, is by continually not achieving your dreams or something that's making you happy. So I think it's really important that we have even small goals, small things. Drinking water every single day, eating healthier every single day, doing something activity wise every day, posting every single day, writing music every single day, whatever it is for you, doing that every single day. So, I mean,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
a habit.
Yes, yes. And I love it. That's super important that you started off like that. And I love that because, I'm hosting the interviews in hopes to impact other people, but it's like impacting me, of course, as well, right? And so thank you very much for that. And also, I wanted to draw back to what you were mentioning earlier, when you were saying like, certain people unlock certain things in other people and we all connect together, and also just trusting yourself and loving yourself and putting yourself out there, putting your message out there. When I say that your first video reached me in a specific point, it was in a point of confusion. It was in a point of like, I really want to do this and invest in this, but life is telling me that I have to do this. Like, I'm going to survive like this, right? And so it was such a balance of how can I like keep pushing towards this purpose, this passion, while I'm surviving. And I'm glad you mentioned Gary Vee as well, because he's another super awesome mentor and just role model that I totally look up to, because
Yeah.
he's just super awesome and just straight up, and he's always pushing kindness, and he's always pushing like just keep going. And he's always looking, how like sometimes we can get into a mentality of like, oh, I don't have it, or oh, it's not here, or oh, it's not working. He just
Right.
always is in a mentality of like, no, you're just not seeing it,
Right.
right? So it's
Or
like
patience, 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 patience.
patience, patience, yeah, sacrifice.
I see it. I see what's possible. I see what's out there. And for me, it's taking the steps and it's learning. And so his message of patience, patience over and over really was a huge shift for me, because I'm grateful for who I'm getting to become through this patient journey of where I'm hopefully going. So it's, here's the thing, it's not even a hopeful thing. I'm excited because I know that I have a direction for making a difference on the planet in some way. And the cool thing is it's whatever the universe wants to, bring my way, because I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to put it in, and I'm definitely not ever going to give up. I'm going to die trying. I'm going to take off this planet, and I'm going to transition off this planet, always giving it my all. And that's one of the best things I'm most proud of. So
Yes, I love it. I appreciate that. That's super amazing. And so speaking of just doing our gifts and continuing to accept the things that are coming with us, what kind of advice would you give people during these times of the pandemic, and knowing that, it's just uncertain times, and there's some people that, they've made investments, they've been, trying to do this, they've been working on that, they almost finalized this project and it was supposed to release. What would be your advice as far as like keeping positive and to continue going, I guess?
just make sure that you are your top priority, that you personally are your top priority. Because if your mindset, your emotional health, your physical health, your spiritual health, if they are not okay, nothing is okay. You can't do anything, you can't get anywhere unless you're standing on your own 2 feet and you have that confidence on the inside that no matter what, it's going to get somewhere. That's what's most important. I mean, that's the best advice I could. I mean, in a nutshell, that's what I would say, is make sure that you're putting yourself first in a either selfish or unselfish way. I don't even necessarily care how you do it. Just do it. Take care of yourself. And it may feel selfish at first. It may feel very selfish, taking all this time for yourself and taking care of yourself, or putting money into yourself. Or I dropped $75 the other day on taking myself on a date last Friday night. I went to the ladies spa and I had a beautiful Korean meal. And I was like, you know what, if a birthday, I'd easily drop this on a friend for a birthday, and I was like, I'm dropping this on me. I'm so worth it. And it was beautiful. And it's not something I normally do, so it's, again, treating yourself and taking care of yourself. And then, I don't know, all of us want to have goals and dreams. Like your vision gets bigger anyway. It just levels up. I mean, when you feel like you're
Right.
your best version, you're
Amazing.
vibing, you attract really cool stuff and experiences, and you just don't want to give up. Something magical happen. You want to, make change in the world. You want to be a better person and affect other people. I mean, am I wrong? You're doing it right now. I'm here.
You cut out there
Hey,
for the last
we're,
second.
people from around the world. I think we're doing pretty good. So
Yes, yes, no. And I caught you when you were talking about all just the taking care of yourself, loving yourself, and I love that that was your first response because it's like we can always say that we like, oh, self-love, yeah, we do that. Oh, taking care of ourselves. Oh, having fun, we do that. But I think that for me personally, I get into like this just this space of like this minimal thing that's fun, right? Like
Yeah,
to me, fun is like going, having a fun weekend at the beach and going swimming and enjoying, which is beautiful and that's great. But sometimes it just, it could be different things. You know, you can try different things. You
right.
could do, all sorts of other things. But just as long as we're kind of like putting that, I like how you're like, oh, I dropped that on me. That's super great because I myself am not really like used to doing that myself, but 2020 has definitely been that year where it really made me reflect back on how I'm treating myself, how I'm talking to
Right.
myself, how I think, the things that I invest my
That's
time
awesome.
into, if it's working for me or against me. And the funny thing as well is that I always told myself that I wasn't going to do like what, because I love my grandmother so much and I grew up with her, but she was such a hard worker
Yeah,
and I think that back then, way back then, they had to because they didn't have all the extra tools, they didn't have all the extra resources and opportunities like
right.
we had. But even though if she could
Right.
have took a step back, she never wanted to take a break from work. She never wanted to, whatever of course we'll go and we'll have our family time or whatever, but it's always work, work, work,
Yeah,
work, work. And I
right.
always told myself like, oh man, we can't do that because that ran her down. And you know what I mean? Like we want to
But
work
do it,
hard,
take
but
care.
also at the same time take care.
Did she do things to take care of herself? Did she have rituals that she did every day to take care of herself?
I mean, speaking personally with what she was considered taking care of herself, she just always loved her family and
Hmm.
always spending time with her family when she wasn't working. But it was like she was still working with that because she had like 6 kids, so many grandchildren. So she was always cooking in the weekend, always family time. But to me, I guess in my eyes, like, yeah, we were still working, cooking around or whatever, but it was still fun, nice time. So maybe that could have been. And always just spending time with her family.
that
So,
that could have been what filled her heart. You know what I mean? And
yeah, yeah,
that's a form of self-care. That's a form of, I mean, taking care of your family. However, I still want to encourage people that even if that is your love language, is acts of service, and your loving your love bucket is filled by taking care of other people, which I understand. You still want to have daily rituals where you're taking care of yourself. You still want to have daily disciplines where you're taking care of yourself. And again, daily disciplines look like drinking enough water, eating raw foods, getting some body movement, working on your craft, working on, whatever your talent is that you want to share with the world.
yes,
These are disciplines to put into your life. Start a little at a time. I mean, you don't, I mean, I have a hard time saying you don't quit smoking in a day, because I do know somebody that quit smoking in a day, just went quit cold turkey,
wow,
made a decision. So it's possible. I've seen it happen with my own eyes, and this person never went back to smoking ever. Well, as far as I know, in 2-3 years. So it just, you know what I mean? So that's what your conscious mind can do. Never even went through withdrawals as far as I'm aware. So, I mean, just based on the words from the person. Yeah. So anything's possible. But how's it
yes,
going, y'all?
of course, yes, yeah. I just think that it's really important. And again, thank you for responding with the self-love and taking care of yourself because it's super important. For those of you guys who are just catching up, y'all already know the drill. If you guys are new here, puff a butt, please use the question box for our co-host here, Miss Through Cat's Eyes. If you have any questions, any comments for her, any of the stuff that we're talking about. And we were just talking about being mindful to ourselves during this pandemic. And her number one advice was taking care of ourselves.
Well, I think that's good advice anytime. But I think it's more important now, because not only is our physical health the most important thing, because we're working on combating, there's a pandemic virus. And so the way that we can take care of ourselves in this time is by having the best immune system possible, by taking care of our health. So that's first and foremost. There's a lot of drama going on with political things, with unrest, with BLM, with
The mental.
everything. So your emotional state is super, super important, that you're taking care of yourself and that you're getting your voice heard in your respectful way. And again, if that's writing, if that's speaking, if that's making music, if that's crafting images, as long as you're doing it in a loving and respectful way and it's not causing any harm, I think that everybody should be expressing themselves, because that's what got us to this point in the first place, is people keeping their mouths shut and feeling oppressed and not feeling like they can be heard and not feeling like their voice mattered. And, you know, people saying, okay, quiet down now, you're causing a ruckus, quiet down now. You know, like, we're taught as children to keep our mouths shut. We're taught the word no aggressively. You know, we're not taught to expand our consciousness. We're not taught to be the best version of ourselves. We're not taught to run until we can't, you know, until we fall asleep because we're so tired. I mean, this is what we should be doing now. If you're having trouble sleeping, like, I know I'm having trouble sleeping because I'm not getting enough activity during the day. I need to either get my brain worked out. I need to get my body worked out. I need to get my emotions worked out. I need to get something like done. I need something completely wiped out for the day so I can go to sleep that night. Otherwise, I'm like full of energy and I'm tossing and turning all night long because I didn't get my stuff done that day. Like, I didn't get my stuff done. And I went to sleep knowing I had stuff on the table. And my subconsciousness, my soul was like, honey, what are you doing sleeping? What? Get up.
Yeah.
Was like guilting me while I was sleeping, basically saying, what are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be sleeping right now. You got shit to do. And I do that sometimes. I wake up at 4 a.m. and I start working on stuff. I mean, I just do it when my soul's called to do it. So, I mean, again, aligning yourself to receive the highest and best good in your life means walking your talk. And it takes practice, and nobody's perfect. We all have bad days, and we all have shitty days that we want to cry and we don't want to be here anymore. And it's okay, because I promise you, it is a cycle like anything else. It's just, use nature, use weather. Weather is the perfect thing to look at. A storm doesn't last forever. The sun always shines. So too for your emotions, for your mental state, for your physical state. You can shift all of it. You can shift all of it. You're capable of shifting all of it. Just when you're in it, tell yourself over and over and over, this is going to pass. And it makes you feel, I mean, I have days where I'm overwhelmed and I don't feel suicidal, but it's like, oh, I just want everything to stop. Like, I'm done taking steps, and I'm done doing one more thing, and I'm just done. I'm over it. And those are the days I just shut everything down and I go for a hike, or I take an hour-long shower until the water's not hot anymore, or I go hang out with a girlfriend and, or I go kayaking, or I go do something that's really extra taking care of myself. Not my daily disciplines, not the daily stuff I should be doing anyway, but something extra, like the spa day, taking care of myself on that extra level. And again, that's putting ourselves first and recognizing when we need a break and recognizing when our fall and our winter is coming. Even in one day, I woke up having, a rough morning because I have a lot going on with my dog and just a whole bunch of stuff. And so a little overwhelming. So I was like, I'm determined to not have a bad day though. So I started putting things into place to shift my day. Meditations, music, positive words and images, started reading positive things. And I literally could feel myself shifting out of it. I fell back into it in the afternoon, started getting emotional again. I took my dog for a hike, and I'm just like, I'm realizing these are going to be some of the last moments I have with him. And so it keeps hitting me, and I just keep getting in my feels. And then I start doing something else. So I was like, hey, I'm going to do videos with him. Let's do some videos. It'll be fun, because it'll memorialize him, and it's something I enjoy doing. So I started making videos. My vibration went back up again. So again, all day, up, down, cyclical. But in my down moments, I was telling myself, this is temporary. This is going to get better. This is temporary. I'm just like this temporarily. It's okay. It's okay for me to be upset. It's okay for me to crash. It's okay for me to have a bad day. It's okay for me to cry. It's okay for me to fall apart in on my bathroom floor and be crying with my dog in my arms. It's okay. It's all okay. Totally. And I'll get through it, and I'll get back to this other higher vibration. So
Yes.
that's,
Yes. I appreciate that response, and I can totally relate to it. So thank you so much, because I'm in that point right now where it's like sometimes when I feel a certain emotion, I get stuck in it. Like,
yes.
if not throughout the whole day, it'll go on the next day or the next day. I'm at that point where I'm breaking it, where, like you said, in the morning you feel all sorts of ways, so you do your hike, or you go do something different from the normal, and then your vibration goes up, and then it's going back down again. And because there's specific events happening in your life as well, that is, causing all the feels and all the emotions to come in. Likewise with me as well, but I'm still getting to that point where I can still sometimes get stuck,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
could get stuck, and then I'm just there, even though I recognize, right? But what I'm so grateful for is now when I get stuck, I'm doing better at being kinder to myself, right? So that is the progress in there, right? And because when we get stuck, or when we get down in our feels and we're just there, like, for me, example, I can talk down on myself, and it's like, man, but you didn't do this and this, and it's already like Wednesday, and like this and this and you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so now it's more of like, okay, well, this day was tough as well. We're gonna take it for what is and do the best that we can, and tomorrow's another day. Just
Right.
be kinder to yourself. And you would never imagine, like, just the power that we have in ourselves to pick
Yes.
ourselves up, and the power that we have to just be kinder, not only for ourselves. It's not only going to reflect in us, but it's going to reflect to the people that we're around.
Right. I heard the coolest thing in the last 24 hours, that when you get knocked down, that you stand up where you are.
I love that.
You can stay down if you get knocked down, and you got to stay down for just a minute to catch your breath, but you stand up where you are.
So let me share, because you're just, every time you say something, it just, I have something for you as well, and this is why I know it's so good. We're bouncing back and forth.
Uh,
The one thing that the message that I have been coming across is, it doesn't matter if you're running, it doesn't matter if you're jogging, it doesn't matter if you're walking, it doesn't matter if you're scooting yourself to where you need to be.
mhm.
Just keep going, like, don't stop. And
Right.
on those days where you want to run, but you're walking instead, be kind to yourself.
Right.
All you got to do is just keep moving, just keep going, crawl, scoot, like I said, pull yourself there somehow,
Yeah.
just keep going.
I have a really cool story that I just recently started telling. I did the Spartan race, and I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the Spartan race. And how it even started was, a friend of mine he sent me a picture of a gal in the Spartan race, and he was like, ha ha ha, I thought this was you at first. And I was like, what is this Spartan race? And so I looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's going to be me. I'm going to do that. And so at that moment, I wrote him back, and I said, hey, wait till I send you a picture of me in the Spartan race, because that is going to be me. And so I, at that moment, signed up, started training. I even had gotten somebody, I got a sponsor actually to pay for my entrance fee and my shoes. I got new shoes for the event. And I trained. I trained with I even got a sponsorship for a gym, and the gym, I mean, it was really cool. And so I started the event, and I had a friend of mine who's one of my closest girlfriends, Amber. And she was filming me like on the sidelines as much as she could in the areas she was allowed to be. And one of the open areas where she was in the first about 30%, about a third of the way through the race, you go through mud pits, and then you have to go up this wall. So you climb a rope up a wall, and then it peaks like this, and you
Yeah.
slide to the side. So I got to here, I got to the top, and I'm hanging onto the rope, and I keep trying to kick my foot over, and I'm muddy, and the whole wall is wood, and it's slick wood, and it's muddy. And I could get no traction. I could get nothing. And so finally I was like, okay, I got this. And I went to swing it around. And as soon as I got my leg over, this left leg slid out from underneath me, and I completely dislocated my knee on top of the peak, one leg on each side. And my friend, she saw my face, and she knew immediately something bad happened. I couldn't even move. I immediately just from the pain, the tears just started coming. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I just sat there for a minute, and the pain was so intense, it almost didn't even hit me yet. Like my adrenaline just spiked. And so I was like, this is bad. This is really, I knew it was bad. And so I finally got over the other side, and I slid down, and she just looked at me, and I went over to her, and she said, what happened? And I said, my knee is, basically my knee is jacked. I said, I'm pretty sure it's out. And so she's like, well, you're done, right? And I was like, no freaking way. There's no way. There's no, absolutely. I mean, and I'm sobbing by this point. And I'm like, there's no way. I was like, I don't care if I have to crawl or roll across this damn finish line. I don't care what I have to pull forth to do this, but there's no way I'm quitting. I trained for this. Like, it was groundbreaking for me. I was breaking through something in my own personal life. I was breaking through some past relationship stuff. I was breaking through some really hardcore things in my life.
Wow.
Like, there's no way I'm not doing this. And so I took my first step, and I knew it was bad. However, I could at least put weight on it. And so I was like, okay, at least tendons and ligaments aren't badly damaged. And I even had the thought that I could be doing worse damage by walking on it. And it didn't matter at that moment. And my adrenaline took over, and I just went for it. And it's one of those things where you never know who's watching you at the time, because all I was focused on was my friend Amber, right? So I made it. And one of the worst parts was having to carry these heavy sandbags and walking uphill. And that was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And it took the most strength, and I pulled the most strength from, I don't even know where. But I just kept telling myself, take a step. Take a step. Take a step. And it didn't matter how long each step took. It didn't matter. But I took a step, and I took a step, and I just kept going, because the time didn't matter. The time did not matter. It was just about finishing. And so, gosh, I'm so emotional. I'm shocked. So I finally made it. I made it across the finish line, and my face is like I'm crying like this, and I'm holding my medal. But that's not the part that got me the most. That got me the most is right after that. This woman walks up to me. She goes, I want you to know something. I saw you fall, and I saw your face, and I saw your friend. And she goes, and I just saw you cross this finish line, and I've never seen anybody with such determination or courage or guts in my entire life. And I will remember you for the rest of my life. And whenever there's something I think I can't do, I'm going to think of you. And that was the whole race for me. The whole race for me was won. I came in first place at that moment. The whole race for me was won. So.
Wow.
And the next day I couldn't walk. I
Oh my God, you
I couldn't walk. I was jacked up. Yeah. Oh yeah, that took a
what are
that
you
was
doing?
yeah, that was yeah.
Oh my God. Everybody, take a second to process. Drop some blue hearts and the butterfly in here because that is like transformation, man. That is huge love. Drop a bunch of hearts inside. You are just, but that's amazing. What you said right there. See, every time you guys always come on here and get me all stuck. Like, everything is just talking like, okay, so thank you so much, first of all, for sharing. Thank you so much for being just so open and honest and you. If you need to grab some water, grab some water.
Yeah. Actually, now I'm gonna grab some water. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right.
Yes, of course. Alicia, there's them blue hearts. Thank you so much, everybody. For everybody just rolling in, put for butt. Please use the question box. If you guys have any questions or comments, use the question box. Anything that you would love to ask Miss Cat, put for butt. Please use the question box now. Social workers rise. What is up? Hello, hola. Queen Gary, hi. TNT Photography, what's up, T? Everybody, go check out TNT Photography. This is my mentor. She is also hustling out there with the pictures, going crazy with the talent shows. Guys, blow the chat up. Put a bunch of blue hearts, put some butterflies, put some red hearts. Show some love to Miss Cat for just sharing that awesome, amazing story. Going ham on the hearts. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to interact with everybody and see everybody. I feel like I've been gone for a minute. It's been like 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks, not that long. How is everybody doing today? How is the start to the new week? Is anybody in that code purple like California is? Laughing but not laughing. Laughing but crying inside. Yes, Alicia. It's good to see you, girl. Thank you. It's good to see you too. Thank you for always jumping in. I'm grateful you caught the live. Thank you, thank you. Si Jules Maasi. Put some questions in the question box, y'all. Let's get some questions over to Miss Cat. We're going to ask her a couple more questions going on, and then we're gonna get some of that good advice. Yo, I just realized I love the hair, and then also my shirt is blue.
I know, and you know what? I'm wearing a black hoodie, and my hair's blue, so we're like opposites.
Yeah.
So cute. And look at, oh my gosh, we're both wearing a black and white dealy bob on our
Yeah.
head. We didn't plan this.
We didn't plan this. This wasn't coordinated at all. So thank you so much. I was just asking everybody to drop some hearts in the comments for you. That was so awesome. Amazing story. And what I wanted to share with that as well is when you said that there's always somebody watching, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then there's that woman in the end that told you that.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna get vulnerable for a second here, and as a lot of people have been messaging me and asking me like what's going on with the interviews in October and stuff. I haven't really been doing interviews weekly like I usually do. Guys, like, you guys have been so awesome and amazing, and everything has been going so great to the point where I was kind of getting a little nervous with how good it was going. I
Oh,
was feeling like I wasn't, like, I was kind of like judging myself, like, yo, you're not really in like this space right now where it's all like good and great, like, people will portray it to be, which is why I always, like, I put in my bio and everything, and I always display that this is all self development. This is all self growth as it is. But
hey,
another thing that I always
shout out to Happy Monkey New York. I love you. Hi.
happy monkey. But the thing is that that is another thing that I was thinking about as well, is that there's going to be somebody out there that is watching, or there's going to be somebody out there who needs it. And I've been getting such positive feedback and such big love and so many different opportunities from starting doing all of this. So I'm just gonna go with it and just
I would
keep
have
on.
to I'd have to agree. I've gotten some amazing opportunities. I have connected with some incredible people. I've gotten to network with some really high level individuals. I have definitely honed more skills by getting my craft more often out there. So I'm constantly putting more information out there, more content out there. I'm getting more of my own research and education handled. And so even my message is getting more clear. And I love that. And I'm building this amazing tribe, and TikTok kicks ass. And I
Yeah,
love my life right now. I'm incredibly blessed. And honestly, I really want people to feel this way. I want, it's a craft. It's a craft to feel this way. It's crafting your life on that vibration of how the hell do you want it to be? You know, I mean, like, let's just put aside what everybody else expects of you for a minute. Let's put aside what you think you're supposed to have for a minute. Let's put aside keeping up with the Joneses and trying to look as cool as everybody else. And let's just what do you want? Like, what do you truly want for your life? What really makes you happy? Like, what direction do you want to go? What difference do you want to make? What makes you so like passionate and energized that you would do it for free every single day for the rest of your life? What makes you so upset that you want to change it in the world and you want to commit yourself and dedicate your life to it? I mean, these are the types of deep questions we should be asking ourselves every single day. I think, I mean, in order to grow and be better versions of ourselves and just make a difference on the planet, because it takes every single one of us. It takes every
every
single one
single
of us
one.
to vibrationally speak, unlock somebody else with this beautiful message. Because again, the vibration, the frequency scientifically has a energy signature. That wave length literally goes to another person's ear, and it's like a key to a lock, and it unlocks something with frequency and vibration. Again, this is quantum physics. This isn't just science, spiritual. This is scientific. And so if we know that our music, our voice, our drawings, our podcasts, whatever it is, are affecting people, why wouldn't we keep putting it out there? Anything that is, I mean, yeah, there's things that stop us. Yes, there's reasons that, but you're doing a disservice. If you have a gift, you're doing a disservice by not putting out there and helping people.
Disservice.
Kind
Yep.
of,
Coding it.
and I got called on it. I even got called on it. One of my girlfriends in Georgia was like, girl, she was like, you seriously, I hired a coach, and she goes, you need to start coaching again. She goes, I know that you're upset because my mom had died, my dad died, a whole bunch of stuff happened. She goes, I know that you're in it, but you need to start coaching again. She goes, because there is a lot of phonies out there. And I love what I do. I love the energy work.
That's why I started getting out too.
I see exactly. And see,
Because there's a lot of influence out there that's just
negative. It's a balance. It's a balance. We got to watch what we're feeding our brain. And if we're not feeding and brainwashing ourselves, somebody else is going to do it for you.
yep.
So,
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, just such good topics, such good informations for everybody just tuning in. Again, please use the question box. We have a couple questions that we have in there. I'm just gonna ask one main question for the interview here, and then we can get connected with the guys in the comments.
you got it.
But just as everybody knows, the big part of what I do here is life testimony and advice, not only for ourselves but for other people, to encourage others, and like you were saying, to speak our message and what we feel to others in hopes that it connects with other people or helps other people get to that next stage or that next phase where they need to be.
Absolutely.
Um, and life just throws us so many different challenges, so many different experiences, have it be good or bad, and a lot of times, sometimes we get stuck in the negative of it. Is there any life testimony that you've ever went through that you would like to share, that you see, that you know it's important to share with the world?
Here's the funny thing. On a lot of, almost everything, I always get relationship questions. Always, about life. So, and I mean romantic relationships, like actual, like the your one in life. So what I would suggest is, if you're asking relationship questions in your life, again, I'm going to suggest it comes back to, there's something that's not working. It's you can always look out at other people and find a reason why shit's not working in your life. Always. I can find a million people to blame for all the stuff that's going wrong in my life, but I really, really, really only have to look at myself. Because if I don't like the direction of something, it's up to me to change it. It's not up to anybody else. And so if you get stuck in life, it's stuck. And not to put down, not to be judgmental, but I use addiction. If somebody has an addiction, they're not going to come out of the addiction until they're ready and think that they're worth coming out of the addiction. So we spend so much time trying to correct the addiction, when it comes down to, wait, what's going on in the first place that caused the addiction? What's going on in the first place that really put that mindset in a place where they feel they have to cover up their emotion. They feel they have to cover up pain. They feel like they have to cover up their mental state. They literally have to cover up the version of themselves that they are. Why would somebody be so afraid of who they are? Because they don't know themselves. And if you're afraid of who you are, to me, that's allowing other people to force their opinions on your life, and you believing the lie that you're not good enough, or you're not worthy, or you're worth being abused, or you're worth taking the pain or the drama or whatever the trauma is in your life. And then it becomes a cycle. And then we just find ways to continue the cycle and beat ourselves up. And that continues on as an adult. And then with that, there's all this emotional challenge and baggage that comes with it. And so we take on drinking and drugs and, gambling or spending or porn or relationships or coffee or, whatever it is. We take on things in order to ease the pain, in order to distract ourselves from possibly looking at the truth, which is, I'm wildly unhappy. I'm miserable about some mistakes I made in the past. And now, but what about taking a little bit of responsibility and saying, I'm at the point in my life where I can do something about it. And yes, I get that there's people that are stuck in situations that feel like they don't have a resolution. I get that. And this is more of a general statement, because I believe there's extraordinary circumstances to everything. I never want to pigeonhole anybody into anything. I just speak from my own personal experience, where it's always been me. It's always been something I could change to make my life a better version, or make me a better version of myself. Strive more, do more work, not give up, chose the wrong relationship, didn't believe in my self-worth, brought negative energy into my life or toxicity, and didn't know how or felt how I knew how to change it. When you start getting clear on all that stuff, again, even on your bad days when the shit hits the fan, it's still not as bad as it was. Like, my bad days now are not nearly, in fact, oh my gosh, I just told one of my besties, that's so crazy. Earlier today, like before this, I was just telling one of my besties, I was like, I'm really proud of myself today. Like, today was a shit show. I woke up in my feels this morning because of like all kinds of stuff going on. And I talked myself off the wall. I talked myself off the ledge. I put positive stuff and music and did some meditation and did some guided stuff. And so I pulled myself out of it, fell back in it again, pulled myself out of it, fell back in it again. So today was just a shit show for me. And the funny thing is, at the end of the day, before this podcast, so I could get my head in the right place to even be super, energetic for this, I told one of my besties, I was like, I'm really proud of the way I handled today. Because in the past, today would have crushed me. I wouldn't have gotten anything done today. However, today, even though I was in it, I came out of it, got some work done. I went back in it. I came out of it, got some work done. So I'm learning to live with my emotions. The depth is not so deep anymore. It's kind of like up here now. So I don't feel the level of pain and sorrow and angst that I used to feel. I can handle it now. And I can see my way out of it. So it's not such a deep crevice anymore. And so that's what's so beautiful about doing energy, spiritual, human, emotional, mental work, is filling in your hole a little bit. Like filling in so it's not quite so deep. You don't hit bottom quite so hardcore anymore. Instead of falling 10 feet down a hole, you only fall maybe 4 or 5 feet. So you might get a little injured, but it's not devastating. Does that make sense? That's a pretty good analogy. I like that.
No, I like that. I like that. Taking care of yourself so that way you don't go deeper and deeper. Yes.
Hello, everybody from around the world. Sending
Around
lots of love.
the world.
Around
Yes.
the world.
I think that was a very great topic and advice right there, because a lot of people do, when I see as well, or when I hear, a lot of people do always reach out in regards to relationships and love and stuff like that. So this is one of the many reasons why I'm doing the stuff that I'm doing, again, is for the people out there who truly literally believe. And I say this because I was one of those people too, where I was like, I truly believed that, like, being in this relationship, like, that was enough. Even if I wasn't happy, or even if I was always sad, or even if, this and that happened, or that job was like that one, even if I was unhappy doing the work, even if I was like, oh my God, I gotta do this again. So really just investing in yourself. And yeah, I have one more question before we jump into with the peoples, and get into their question box as well. So if everybody's just jumping in and you guys want some questions, use the question box. What if you could tell your teenage self one thing, what would that be?
Not to try to be an adult so quick, to enjoy teenager, to just really enjoy the innocence, enjoy the lack of responsibility. Enjoy being a young person that doesn't have a lot that somebody else. I was blessed with a mother who worked very, very hard. My stepdad, who my mother married, came into my life when I was a young teen, and he helped to raise my sister and I as well. But when you're young, you want to grow up so fast, and you want to be an adult so bad because you want to make your own decisions, and you want to feel like and again, I think that leads to, if I think if parents were a little more forgiving towards and grace with their kids, and let their kids be a little bit more themselves, and be playful, be loud, find ways for them to have outlets for healthy expression, then they would grow into young adults that want to continue that pattern, rather than young adults who want to rebel because they were just told no for 14 years. No, 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 no. Well, I can't wait till you can't tell me no anymore. Well, what's that? That's not solving anything. So like I said, I was blessed with a mom who at least gave me some sense of freedom, who gave me a safe environment to grow up in. I was incredibly blessed to have a safe environment to grow up in. So I always had a home, in the same home, and my mom worked very hard to make sure that we had stability. So, and there was no like drugs or alcohol in the house. Nobody even smoked cigarettes. I was just really blessed. However, there was a lot of emotional and mental pain with relationship stuff. And so that's where my Achilles heel is. And honestly, like I said, going back to being the teenager, you almost just can't take yourself too seriously or try to grow up too fast, because then again, you miss the opportunity of being a kid or being a teenager. And then when you're an adult, so when you're a kid, all you want to do is be an adult. When you're an adult, all you want to do bad is going back to being a kid. well, then you're just miserable your whole life. Like let's just appreciate where we're at. Like, first of all, I love where I'm at. I love my age. I love being in my 40s. I love the opportunity to grow every single day. Would I go back and do it again? Who wouldn't? I think most people would try to go back and do it again if they could, but we can't. So we can pick ourselves up from where we are now, and we can stand on our own 2 feet now, and we can start getting our stuff handled. Because even as young people, my advice to young people is start becoming disciplined. Oh, that's the other thing I would tell my young self. Learn some disciplines, learn some business skills, and learn some disciplines about handling your finances, about saving, about working out and eating healthy every day. Like, learn some disciplines as a teenager so you take that into your adult life, because this is crap trying to do it all now. I am trying to reinvent myself. I'm trying to build a new career. I'm trying to build a relationship with myself. I'm still paying my bills. I'm still working. I'm still, connecting with people. I'm trying to create merchandise. I'm trying to create a logo. I'm connecting with graphic designers. And I mean, it's like nonstop. Adulting can really suck sometimes. And like I said, today it was like overwhelmed. So enjoy being a young adult as long as you can. That's what I would
That's the best that's the best right there, because we do always try to like grow up pretty quick and take on a lot of things pretty quick, and there's even situations where there's kids who have no choice and have to really grow up. So it's just it's to the kids and it's to the parents, it's just to everybody as a whole to be mindful to the things that we're going through, and for the kids and the events and all that stuff. But I think we're getting into a better space where we're being more conscious into the things that we're doing, especially when it comes to families. And there was one question here in our question box, and then we have 3 minutes before Instagram kicks us out. And I want everybody to be able to get connected with you, to share your platform and the things you're doing. So, Alicia wants to know any advice for someone who believes taking care of ourselves is selfish?
to step out of that belief honestly takes practice, because you were taught that belief over and over and over. So it created a neural pathway in your brain, which is like a habit, and it's an actual habit that you are regularly doing. So you have to train yourself to think differently, and it takes time, it takes practice, and it takes, again, dedication to self. Because first of all, you tell yourself you're worth it, and you're worth the time and effort, and you're worth the time to put into yourself. And the other thing is about
Yes.
give out of you. When you fill your cup with this beautiful life liquid, when that over spills because you're so filled, then you share that abundance with other people. And that's the best part, is you give out of your abundance. And then, like, so for example, I'm giving to her out of abundance, I'm giving to you guys out of my abundance. So I filled my heart today, I took care of myself today. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here right now. And I'm giving out of my abundance. So I'm not giving out of anything out of lacking. I'm not going to get off this podcast and be lacking. I'm going to be getting off this podcast and be more energized, because I give to yourself regularly and make it a habit, make it a discipline, and know that you're worth it.
Yes, amazing, perfect. And another thing too, to piggyback into that before we get into platforms and stuff, is another thing that I've experienced myself personally is, even if I've gotten out of that space where like I do sometimes take away from myself, and then now like I'm doing better putting into myself,
Mm-hmm.
there's still gonna be days where in an event or a situation can occur where just kind of like, so it's just every day fighting through believing, being kind to yourself and telling yourself
Yep.
like you literally can. And it's all about adjusting too, adjusting and knowing where to be flexible in.
100%. And you will have down days. You will have days that you feel like you totally suck. Even your life, even knowing that you're worth it, even working hard, even doing all the shit you're supposed to do, you're still going to have days where you think you freaking suck. I mean,
Yes.
who we are. We're human beings. I mean, we're perfectly imperfect. Nothing's ever going to be perfectly. I don't care who you are on the planet. He has days of lack of belief, less belief, whatever. However you want to
Yeah.
put it.
Constant, just continued self-development, continue, just keep on going. And Instagram is telling us that we have 50 seconds now. So if you want to share your platforms and anything that people should look out for you doing to support you.
Pretty much everything is Cat Heart, Katheart. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Cat Heart, Katheart, Cat Heart. So
TikTok is where I met her, guys. She's been amazing. For those of you who were, just chiming in, she really reached out to me through her videos in a point in time where I was really confused and I was really doubting the things that I knew I wanted, but I was just unsure and fearful of it. So please reach out and follow her. There is the spelling to her social media name. Besides saying thank you, I appreciate you so much. This is crazy that I'm like seeing you and talking. I literally manifested this. So please be ready because I'm continuing to go on because I'm coming for Gary B too. Like
right.
he's the main man. Any last words that you would like to share with us?
I love you guys. Just love yourself. Just believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Please, please, please. We need all of us to believe in ourselves. We need it. We need it.
And one of the biggest things that I pulled away from this as well, Kat, is us working together and that all of us, we need all of us if we're going to success in taking care of each other, healing the world, loving the world. And I almost forgot before it cuts off, and if it does, but that's okay. But experiencing this interview and doing the things that you do, what can you say that you can do in your craft and your art to get towards social progress?
I'm working on that right now. My next step is literally a brand where it is meant to bring people together. So, I mean, I literally was half raised by Black families in my life. I have a very unique story that's going to be coming out more. My sisters who I grew up with really want me to share that story, but just a lot of love, a lot of for unity coming together. And I believe we're all family. I believe that with my whole heart and soul, that we're all family. We are all one family. We're connected spiritually. We're connected scientifically. We all share DNA at some point, way, 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 way back. And so we're all connected and we all learn from each other. And the differences are what make us beautiful.
Thank you so much, Kat, for coming on to the Social Progress Podcast. Thank you, everybody in the comments. Much love to everybody. I'm so excited to looking out for all your work.
Thank you. And you're doing awesome. I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate you. This is literally
Thank you for having me on. I'm so
This
grateful.
is literally a dream come true. Like I said again, I've always watched your videos, and I just want you to know whenever you're having those rough days, your message did reach somebody. So keep it going.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much, love.